One of my bygone recollections, as I recall the days of yore, is the little house behind the house with the crescent or the door. 'Twas a place to sit and ponder with your head bowed down low, knowing you wouldn't be there if you didn't have to go. Ours was a three-holer with a size for everyone. You left there feeling better after your usual job was done. You had to make those frequent trips, whether rain, snow, sleet, or fog, to the little house where you usually found the Sears Roebuck catalog. I recall the day that Granddad, who stayed with us one summer, made a trip to the shanty which proved to be a hummer. It was the same day my father finished painting the kitchen green. He'd just cleaned up the mess he'd made with rags and gasoline. He threw the rags in the shanty hole and went merrily on his way, not knowing that by doing so, he would eventually rue the day. Now, Granddad had an urgent call I never will forget. The trip he made to the shanty lives in my memory yet. He sat down on the seat with 2 feet on the floor, then filled his pipe with tobacco and lit a match on the outhouse door. When the tobacco began to smolder, he slowly raised his rear and threw the flaming match in the hole with not a sign of fear. The blast that followed, I am sure, was heard for miles around, and there was poor old Granddad just a-sittin' on the ground. The smoldering pipe was in his mouth. His suspenders he held tight. The celebrated three-holer was blown clear out of sight. When we asked Granddad what had happened, his answer I'll never forget. He thought it must have been something he had recently ate. The next day, my father built another with ease, with a sign on the outhouse door which read, "No smoking, please." Now that's the end of my story of days of yore, of the little house behind the house with the crescent or the door.